Hello. If you want to attend a university in the United States and need to finance the cost of your education, this note will give you all the keys. If you're about to enroll in a U.S. college or wondering which college you want to apply to, you're probably considering your options for financing your education. If you need to borrow money to make your dreams come true, you're not alone. According to the Federal Reserve, 30% of American adults say they have taken on at least some debt to pay for their education. The borrowers collectively owe $1.77 trillion in student loans, including federal and private loans. Applying for a loan has almost become a requirement, said Dana Kelly of the National Association of Student Aid Administrators. If you're a high school or college student, apply for federal student loans for 2024 to 25 in December. For the school year using the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. With private student loans, you can apply when you need them. When applying for a student loan, it helps to know the career field you want to pursue, figure out how much you need to borrow, and understand the basics of loan interest. If that sounds like too much for you, don't worry, we'll break it down for you. Here's what you need to know. Where do I start? The first step is to complete the FAFSA. You will need to answer questions about your family's financial contributions and other questions that will help determine your eligibility for federal or state financial aid and what loans you can apply for. The application must be completed each year. Kathy Miller, Executive Director of Mapping Your Future, a nonprofit organization that helps people access higher education, recommends taking advantage of all possible financing options to reduce the amount of debt you need to borrow. If you're interested in applying for a scholarship to finance your college education, you can check out the College Board Scholarship Search Directory, a nonprofit organization that provides college opportunities for students. When completing the FAFSA, Mueller recommends estimating how much you'll need to borrow during your college career, as well as being realistic about how much you'll be able to afford. One tool that can help is the Future Debt Mapping/Room Wizard, an interactive calculator that helps you determine how much you can borrow based on your projected future income. Do you want to know what date? In previous years, the FAFSA was opened on October 1st. This year, the government has made important changes and applications will start in December, although no date has been announced. The FAFSA is usually due in June of the following year. When applications open, check your country's deadlines for applying for state aid. Because financial aid is offered on a first-come, first-served basis, you should apply for financial aid as soon as possible to qualify for federal and state grants. The schedule is different for private student loans. Private lenders require proof of registration, so experts recommend applying a few months before tuition fees are due. Federal and private loans. Federal student loans are backed by the government, and private loans come from banks, credit unions, or other private institutions. Federal student loans generally offer lower interest rates and more affordable repayment plans, such as community service loan forgiveness or another repayment plan based on your income. Kelly recommends that students try to use only federal student loans, although there are limits on the amount of the loans. It's quite possible that private student loans will cost more over the life of the loan, he said. Private loans have different requirements and application processes. If I get more money. Before accepting student loans, it is recommended to calculate the amount you will have to pay for your education. Most likely, they will give you a larger loan than you need. If this happens to you, Mueller suggests paying back the money you don't need, because it's a loan after all and you have to pay that amount back plus interest. If you find that you need to pay off some of your student loans, contact your school's financial aid office to start the process. Student loan. There are several different federal student loan options: direct subsidized loans, direct unsubsidized loans, direct plus loans, and direct consolidation loans. The most common are direct subsidized and unsubsidized loans taken by college graduates. The government covers the interest on subsidized loans made to students in financial need. A subsidized loan covers at least half of your interest while you're in college, 6 months after graduation, and allows you to temporarily stop paying if you qualify for a deferment. Most students have unsubsidized loans, but they are responsible for paying the interest. Loan interest. Student loans must be repaid with interest, which is the extra cost paid to obtain the loan. Student loan interest rates depend on the type of loan you have and how long it has been since it was first available. If the loan is extended after July 1, 2023 and until July 1, 2024, you will receive a fixed interest rate of 5.5%. What should I do before signing? Before you accept a student loan offer, whether federal or private, make sure you know the details, says Betsy Mayotte, president of the Association of Student Loan Counselors, a nonprofit organization that offers free help to students applying. Loans. Information includes when interest accrues, whether it is compounded, and whether there are late fees. If you feel overwhelmed reading the information on your own, Mayotte suggests speaking with a financial aid advisor at your college or elsewhere. When you meet with a counselor, it's a good practice to ask prepared questions about your repayment plan and when you should start repaying the loan. According to Kelly, good questions to ask yourself or your counselor are: 1. If I borrow this amount to start with, will the interest rate be fixed for 4 years, or will I expect to borrow more each year? 2. Will my chances of getting a scholarship increase, thereby reducing the amount I have to borrow? If you apply for federal student loans, you must complete an enrollment counseling course. Kelly advises watching the process and staying calm. For my student loan. If you have specific questions about student loans, there are many resources available. You can visit the Federal Student Aid website or contact your college's financial aid office or a nonprofit or community organization like Mapping Your Future. Loan advice. Mueller recommends keeping track of how much you borrow each year so you know how much you will owe at the end of your college career and what your monthly payments will be. He also suggests that if you work at a university, consider paying a portion of the interest you earn each year. You don't have to make those interest payments. But if you do, you'll save money in the long run, Miller said. He explained that the interest you pay is typically lower while you're in college, but when you graduate or leave school, the interest rate increases, which means the principal on your loan increases and you'll have to pay interest. In the description of the video I leave you a link to a personal and payroll loan platform in case you need one. Thanks for staying until the end.